When you think of harvesting grapes for America's wine industry, you think of California or New York. But one of the up-and-coming wine-producing areas is actually deep in the heart of Texas.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Newsom's Grape Day.
Neil Newsom and more than 100 others in this West Texas barn are part of a growing agricultural fraternity in the Lone Star State.
But these bacteria can actually communicate and can act together as a community.
Neil's gathered scientists as well as growers and vintners to his vineyard near Plains, Texas for something he calls Grape Day.
We're going to have a lot of wineries here. We're going to have some people that want to be a winery someday. We're going to have a lot of growers here and some people that want to be growers someday, so it's going to be networking.
And that networking seems to be paying off. Texas wine production was just 24,000 gallons in 1981. By 2005, that number had grown to almost 2 million gallons, an industry worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the Lone Star State. What makes this land particularly good for wine?
Well, here we're 3,700 feet altitude. This is the southern end of the high plains, which goes all the way into Canada. We're a semi-arid climate. We can spoon feed the water that the grapes need. We have low disease pressure because of the low humidity. We have hot days and very cool nights.
Vineyards here will grow Merlot, Pinot Grigio, Sangiovese, and dozens of other grape varieties. Neil likes to say it's added value to traditional Texas agriculture.
In this part of Texas, we've got cotton, cattle, and Cabernet.
Neil farmed cotton for years, but was always looking for other crops that did well in this climate.
So I was interested in as an alternative stream of income for the farm. And that was another push to try grapes. We start pruning in March. I have a field crew that comes in, and we try to be through pruning the first Passover by about the first week of April. And then after the primary pruning, well, then it's just maintenance through the summer. Well, anytime we go through the vineyard, we try to do two things at a time if we can. I'm spraying a foliar feed on the back with the air blast blower, and at the same time, I'm plowing the weeds in the front on a front hitch with a tandem.
Neil sells his grapes to 10 different Texas wineries. He, like other growers, has seen demand skyrocket in just the past 5 years. Some 25 years ago, there were fewer than a half dozen wineries in the entire state of Texas. That all changed thanks to consumer demand and some recent changes in state law, which now allow wineries to sell their products on site and also ship their wines to buyers. The result? Well, today, Texas has more than 150 wineries, and that number continues to grow.
First of all, it starts in the vineyard with our grapes. Without the grape growers, we have nothing. 95% of the quality of our wine is in the grapes. And we have
Greg Bruni oversees winemaking for Llano Estacado, one of the largest premium wineries in the state of Texas. Llano Estacado will turn out 26 different wines, everything from blush styles to Chardonnays and Cabernet.
Each one of these tanks is 3,000 gallons. They hold roughly 1,260 cases per tank. These smaller tanks are about 1,600 gallons and hold roughly 700 cases.
I noticed some numbers on here flashing. What is that?
You're correct. These are called thermostats, and this thermostat regulates the temperature inside this tank.
Wine here is tested in the tank and also in the lab as it moves its way from barrel to tank to bottle. Customers can tour the plant and taste the product. What makes a good wine? How would you define it?
Good wines can be defined in terms of their chemical composition, and we have a laboratory where we test that. But really, there's no substitute for smelling and tasting.
And the proof is in the wine itself. We're walking away with a lot of silver and gold medals in international competitions. We've walked away with gold over in London. Just this year alone, one of our reserve Cabernets has walked away with 3 golds to date and a couple silvers.
Texas has become the nation's 5th largest wine-producing state after California, Washington, Oregon, and New York. Winemakers here think that position will improve as production continues to grow.
We've niche marketed in 22 states, 5 European markets, Japan, Korea, Russia. We've even shipped to Mongolia twice. So people out there are actually hearing about Texas wine.
And that's good news for growers like Neil, for whom farming has now become lots more fun.
This is the best industry to be in. And I tell people this everywhere I go. The very best part of this has been the people we've met along the way.